an interesting few days. Just I've been able to handle stuff in a much more chill way. I used to be like very consumed by things. I mentioned this a little in the last video, but I've been experiencing just like stuff come up and facing it in a different way. And so it's finally kind of being processed in a new approach. And so I feel breakthroughs and shifts happening, but at the same time I'm hitting new walls, going deeper into emotional stuff and physical stuff, just trying to optimize my body and my mind and get rid of things that I don't need to carry anymore and balance my body, balance my mind. And then with work, now that my app works, it's this intense pressure to make sure it works really well and make sure that people use it and make sure that it has money to operate. And so this whole pressure of like fundraising and in what way do I do like an angel round, friends and family, or do I just go blitz outreach to every VC network that I can? All the while, I'm just wanting to make the product better and optimize my own life. But one thing that stands out since launching Typo, obviously just like a cold launch, but since launching Typo, I've found that I love using it. And that's kind of the main metric that I feel is valuable, because most of the tools I've built in the past, I never really used them because I wasn't the user or they just never were fully completed. So that's been kind of the focus this week, is dodging and solving everything I can. I started a new song that I'm writing for my next baby, and we went to the midwife today and got the ultrasounds. So we saw the baby, and it's hard to be fully present with it this time around because you have a baby. And so I'm like holding the baby that we currently have that's wanting to be held by the mom to get milk while the mom's getting an ultrasound for our next baby. So it's a little much. But again, it's one of those things where I feel like it's just divine, and I feel like I'm handling it in a chill way. But there is like a lot of pressure to build stability and legacy for what now is becoming like a real family. Like it's expanding beyond just one child. As you learn your own philosophies, you won't write none but many books. As you discover your own mind, you won't intervene, now you just look. And as you embrace your own body, you won't wish but seek to heal. And all I wish for you right now is that you persevere, 'cause you got something in you. It's so familiar, and you got something, as you search across the world and finally find what you do seek. Don't you know the answers, they can't be measured by just steps, but also feats. Look at all that wisdom that you have now, you wouldn't trade it for any gold, oh Lord. All I wish for you right now is that thing that you hold. You got something in you, and it's so familiar. You got something in you. Follow me, we all just want some peace. Stuck in the same place, how can I escape? Follow me, we all just want some peace. We want the same thing, destiny. Follow me, we all just want some peace. We want the same thing, it's destiny. Follow me, we all just want some peace. Stuck in the same place, how can I escape? That's not the one I wrote for the baby. The one I wrote for the baby is still going. But it's something like, I'll do it later. On this path beneath you, all souls rise to the setting sun. And when heaven's gates release you, I'll be there as long as I can help. Because you're the only hand that I reach to now. God will have to tear me from this earth, cause I just wanna be here, I'll stick around. All things equal, but I needed you most, yeah. Holy shit, I haven't even seen you. But when I do, I'll probably go blind. Cause the only thing I see is what I need to. And you're right there in front of my eyes. Big blue skies, I think we'll call you indigo. Open eyes, I look and I can see your soul deep inside. I can see your soul deep inside. And all you'll see is gold. I'm falling, and I'm on my knees, and I'm all in. And you're all I need, and I'm falling, I'm on my knees, and I'm all in. And you're all I need, yeah. That's the one I wrote for my first baby, Indigo. It's called Big Blue Skies. But yeah, just been kind of hitting a little bit of a writer's block with work, but I've been feeling very creative and very productive nonetheless. But sooner or later, in the next couple of weeks, I need to start putting money into the business again, which I usually figure out, and I know I'm building something very true and very stable and very scalable. Like it's humming now. And so now it's just a matter of kind of walking out of the science lab and going and like, you know, slapping my hand on my uncle's shoulder and being like, do you want to take some risk and jump in on this? And calling some old clients and mentors. And I'm realizing something with fundraising is we approach it in this very rigid way. You could use the term fake even. So we package up all these nice things, these ways of pitching, these ways of speculating, these ways of selling, and then we it kind of feels almost like a suit and tie event where you like email and you cold outreach and you go to networking events and you do all these things to like get in, when investors really at the end of the day, they want the numbers to make sense and they want some level of FOMO, fear of missing out. So they need some level of incentive to like perceived value, and fear of missing out. And they need to have like some sort of logic to back it. But then it seems like there's this game to get into that circle. When in reality, if I was to take a step back and erase the whole like structure, at the end of the day, I would just want to invest in people that I trusted and in ideas I believed in. And creating trust is a common, like, missing component in what you hear and see and experience in the process of VC. Like creating trust isn't really like a common thing I hear in tips. It's more like, don't say this and make sure to say that, and don't say this and they don't want to hear that, and make sure to have this, but they won't need that. And this is how we do it, and this is how the structure works. And that's all important, but at the end of the day, it's like, go build trust and trusting relationships with people and build track record. And that's how you raise money. So I heard a quote. I'm studying Benjamin Franklin right now, and I heard a quote from one of his writings in a newspaper he owned in Pennsylvania called I forget, Pennsylvania Current, or I forget. But anyways, he says that if you want to know the value of money, go try to raise some money. And I think there's so many ways to understand the value of money, but I feel that one right now. Like, go try to get a loan, he says, and you'll realize that, there's a lot of hoops to jump through and things you need to figure out before money is just handed to you. So I'm taking Ben's advice by heart, and I'm learning the value. So we'll see. Hopefully in the next few videos, I'm like, oh, I raised a little bit of money. And right now, I just did one marketing effort, besides pinging a few people in my network. I emailed all the people that have downloaded my templates on Notion, and it got about 12 users on Typo. But then most users, they're just making pages, and they're not, they're maybe making a block or two. They're making their profile photo, choosing a username, maybe adding some text or a photo, but they're not making pages and organizing things. And so I'm really eager to get templates where when you create your account, you automatically have the base things ready, and you can just replace them. But yeah, not really sure. I need to keep influxing people in and finding out what works and what needs to be worked on. My dev that's leading the charge is taking his week-long vacation right now, which is much needed. He hasn't taken a vacation in a year and a half, he said. And I believe him. And he said he hasn't been without his laptop for 4 years, and it's a big deal. So we had a lot of preparation to kind of make it so that platform could be stable while he was gone. So it's honestly a win if you think about it. The fact that we have a platform that we got humming, like I said, without a dev even needing to be there. So yeah, trying to think if there's anything else that's been useful. I'll just sit and I set up a tent on the back porch 2 nights in a row, and it was amazing. As I would get into the tent, I would feel like giddy. I'd get in and just sort of just like I'm so excited to sleep here tonight. And then it was like severe thunderstorm warning last night, and the deck was all wet, so I didn't sleep there last night, but I'm gonna set up the tent tonight. So that's one thing. I encourage you to sleep outside if you can. It's so good. I knew a guy, he's like the top CEO coach. If you like search like top CEO coaches, like CEO books, he's like one of those people. Like trains like Sam Altman and stuff. And I was having dinner with him at his house, and then I was like, you should have dinner at my house soon. And he was like, can I sleep in your yard? And I was like, sure. And he's like, if I come over at 7 for dinner, I like to go to bed at 8:30, so it's perfect. I can just sleep in your yard. And he has like a mansion in Hawaii, and granted at the time I had a mansion too, but he was like wanting to sleep in the yard. I was like, I have a guest room. He's like, no, I want to sleep in the yard. And then he told me how he does that every single night. And he just sleeps in this little tiny like bivvy, just locks in, goes to bed. And he's like, I'll be out of your yard by 6 a.m. You won't even notice me. And that's right, I woke up and he wasn't there. It's funny. And then I saw him like in the fall, like October or November. And I like reached out trying to like get in touch, and he just like ignored me like I was some like pesky like kid trying to network. I'm like, dude, you slept in my yard. Like we were homies. So weird. I was thinking about that concept. Like when you reach out to people and they ignore you or just kind of like overlook you. And I realized that people have this guard up because there's so much like buzz and noise out in the world. And so you kind of have to assume things about people, whether they're strangers or people you kind of know, where you just assume that it's better to just take space and like not even entertain it. And I was thinking, I was like, because I knew some people he was hanging out with who were kind of like users and like mooches. And so my partner and I were talking, like, it's so funny he like was hanging out with those people. I don't know how he didn't know those people, like, how did he not pick up on those signals? And I was like, yeah, and he ignored me. So like that tells, like, I'm either worse than this person or like this person just, I don't know. But it made me thinking about this process of like being ignored, especially when you're about to fundraise and talk about an app, like reach out to friends and they like ignore you. So it's a good messenger of where people's priorities are. And sometimes people just have stuff come up and they just, I'm not mad at anyone. But yeah, he slept in my yard and then ignored me. So weird. If I ever sleep in your yard, I'll definitely text you back. I swear. So funny. And I like to think in the future, like, oh yeah, so people, they ignore because they have to sort of compartmentalize and like assume things to save time and stay focused and not to get distracted. But when like the good ones, like I'd like to think that I have like good intention of being friends with, the guy that slept in my yard or people that I'm trying to reach out to show them my app. Like I thought we were friends. And so my intention I felt was good. And so there's like sometimes people with good intent and like quality people you miss out on because you just ignore so many people that there's genuine like opportunities and relationships that get shoved under the rug or thrown out with the bathwater. I was the baby in the bathwater. And I will be the baby in a lot of people's bathwater until I raise money and prove myself. Part of proving myself is building a product and finishing all these things I'm working on. It's a whole nother thing, just how many things I want to work on, and I execute pretty quickly. My partner's been good at telling me that recently. She's like, you're really good at executing. But there's the projects that like, to execute a project is many, many, many tasks and like a residual like package, like management, like project management has to be a part of those tasks. And I have like, you know, for the last 2 years I've been wanting to release another album, but I just haven't felt creative enough, or haven't been making the time for it, or been under stress, you know, having a baby. And then I've been working on a book. I have like 300 or 400 pages written, but I just don't have that like the filtering and revisions and like project management side of it. So I'm just adding new things to it consistently. But I need to kind of wrap things up, like I'm doing with Typo. Like, it's this idea, it's this vague beta demo, and then it's like, all right, no, bring it to life. Same thing with my album, same thing with my book, same thing with even Tekka, like as a whole. It's all just been these like vague components that slowly are starting to materialize. But it needs to become more of like this tangible machine that starts to move and automate and stuff. I'm getting there, but there's a big unlock coming. It's funny to be in this space of like proving yourself, being a nobody, but being quite accomplished, but also being frustrated with not accomplishing enough. I'm just in this weird like space. And I am fully aware of all of the things you say, like, oh, you're making progress and just keep going, and, you know, stuff will keep falling into place. I'm aware that that's usually the truth in things. And then I'm also aware that, like, bills are bills. Groceries are groceries. You know, car payment is car payment. Like, bills are bills. And so no matter how many, like, words of encouragement you can give someone that's building a project, they still have to produce tangibility to be able to pay the bills. And so I'm reaching that point where I'm like, all right, tangibility. Let's bring it all to earth. Let's bring it all to reality. Someone just walked in. So yeah, I think that's it. I like making these videos. I feel like they're really healthy for me. And I realized that when you film yourself working and working out and like training, it's really helpful because you work out and you train harder, because you're like, I'm being filmed, so I'm going to do like a few extra leg lifts because I do have it in me, and I might as well not look like weak here. And when I'm working, it's like, well, if I'm filming myself work, I realize this in Europe, if I film myself work, it's like work on good stuff, because it would be really weird to film yourself like not working highly effectively. So that's been helpful. And then also recording these helps me like process things and ponder and like kind of refine things a bit. And then that process of making these videos in general and just like getting them live and putting myself out there is really healthy for, you know, releasing that hesitancy and breaking through the boundaries of procrastination and building a state of accountability with myself. So, thank you for watching, and I love you.